Welcome back to Burning River Bushcraft. Today we're going to be taking a look at a survival snare kit from Vigilant Trail. This is the Survival Snare Kit Stage 2. So I've been fortunate enough to take a look at a lot of cool kits from Vigilant Trail. I got started with them with their fishing kits, and when I saw their snare equipment, that looked like professional snaring gear. That did not look like picture wire snares and paracord snares that you see so often in survival manuals. The Stage 1 kit that I reviewed, I had 3 locking cable snares. They were real deal snares made in the USA, made right at Vigilant Trails. And today we're going to be taking a look at the slightly larger Stage 2 kit. If this is the kind of thing you'd like to see, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment in the comment box, and ring the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Burning River Bushcraft. I also teach outdoor classes at Outdoorcore.com. The Stage 1 kit was based around an Altoid size 10, which is great, fits right in your shirt pocket. This is about the same thickness, but it's significantly larger. So I'm hoping for a lot more out of this one. The Stage 1 kit absolutely blew me away, so I just cannot wait to get this thing open. So this bag's oversized, which there's no sense trying to squeeze this tin into a bag that's exactly the right size. I appreciate the fact that it's oversized. It's going to let me carry other items, and once I start to break this kit down, it's going to make it a whole lot more usable. So right on top here, just like the Stage 1 kit, I've got an information card, and that's going to tell me critical information. This is going to tell me the loop size I need for my intended target, and it's also going to tell me the height off the ground for the loop. And how do you know your intended target? You're going to set on sign. So if you see tracks, this is going to help you ID those tracks. You can reference the snare loop size as well as the snare height off the ground, and that's going to give you a lot better chances of catching game. So here's our kit, all neat and all packed up. So in the bottom of the tin, I've got instructions as well. So I have more detailed directions on components of the snare and how to properly use the snare. And then I've got the loop diameters repeated here because that is such critical information. Now also, I've got a survival snare trigger. Now those are included in the tin. Those are not legal in my area, but remember, this is a survival snare kit. So a loaded snare like this, or a spring snare, is going to increase your chances of getting a tight, quick catch on the animal. And it's also, in the case of a smaller animal, going to lift it up off the ground where predators can't get it. Here's the snares, all bundled up, and I have support wire in here as well. I have 3 locking cable snares in the kit, and these appear to be about the same snares that were on the Stage 1 kit. So this is professional grade, high quality cable. We've got hammered down ends. There's our lock. Here's our support collar. And then this is adjustable exactly like the Stage 1s, and I think this is outstanding. So I've got a double ferrule here, so I can loop this over something and tighten it down. I can also make the loop big enough where I can just pass this snare through and put it around a tree or a fence post, tighten it back down. And that's a great way for an improvised stake when you're out in the woods. So here's our small roll of support wire. Snares can work with very, very limited equipment, but support wire is kind of critical. It's going to hold the loop at the proper angle where it's dead in line with the trail, as well as be adjustable easily and quickly to get the right height off the ground. Now here's the cool part. I have 3 of these survival snare triggers. So this is unique to Vigilant Trail. This is patent pending. I've never seen anything like this before. And what this is this turns a modern trap and makes it function more similar to a primitive trap. So with primitive snares, you're going to be using spring poles most of the time, and that's because the material is just inferior to this modern cables. The animal can just turn around and just chew right through your paracord, or it could work through picture wire or any other type of improvised snare. So you need to keep that animal up under tension. You don't have to lift it off the ground, but at least if you can keep a steady tension on an animal, it's unable just to turn its head and chew through your cordage. Now with this, you're using that for a couple different things. You're making that snare fire extremely fast. And in the case of smaller game, you're able to lift that animal up off the ground so it's there waiting for you and you didn't just make dinner for some predator. So I've got 3 pieces here. I have a double looped small cable. I've got one that's got a split ring. There is actually our trigger. And then I've got a double loop that's actually attached to the other end of this trigger. So this is going to be attached to your spring engine. The split ring you're going to pass through and attach to your snare. And then this is going to actually be attached to the ground. Let me reconfigure my bench and I'll show you how these work. So I also have a small bag with some cordage in here, and this looks like 36 bank line. And I've got some clips on here too. So the bank line and these clips is what I'm going to use to attach the spring engine to our snare trigger. Here's one end of the snare trigger. This is going to be fixed to the ground, so I've just got it nailed to this bench right now. So here's the business end of the snare trigger, and I've got it attached to a piece of PVC coming off the bench, and then this split ring here, you can just slip right through the snare. So now to set this, I'm just going to pull down on the spring engine and put my loop in the trigger. So our snare is attached to the split ring, which is attached to our spring pole. Now I would set this along the trail, right over a game trail. So what's going to happen is when the animal pulls this snare, it's actually going to set it off. Here it is again, as the animal pulls on the snare, it's going to set it off. Now that's going to tighten this locking snare around the animal, and once it closes, it does not open up again. So if you're looking for a pocket or packable survival kit of any type, head over and check out Vigilant Trail. They have a lot of great stuff and a lot of unique stuff. It's not just repeated the same version of things that's been around forever. They have really innovative ideas. This Survival Snare Kit Stage 2 is outstanding. The Stage 2 kit gave me everything that I had in the Stage 1 kit as far as snares go, but those spring snare triggers are pretty cool. That is something that's completely unique, and I appreciate that they would put the time into that. Now I could also use those to help me fish as well, so that's a multi-purpose item, and I really couldn't see not having them in any kit. If you can afford the size of the Stage 2 kit, I'd go for it. If this looks a little bigger than what you have room for in your pack and you don't feel like rearranging anything, then the Stage 1 kit is still going to get you game. It's still going to give you quality snares. Till next time, this has been Jamie Boggs with Burning River Bushcraft. See you soon.